Let's get into this new layer one project, Sai Crypto. I'm going to be talking about some things that I like, some things that I don't like that are concerning me. I'll get into that later on in the video. But first off, we're going to go over basically what this project is, what is their mission, who are their founders, development, ecosystem, TVL. Going to be going through a bunch of different analytics, all the things that are going on with this project. Let's get right into it. So Sai is saying it is enabling mass adoption of digital assets. It is a layer one project. It is proof of stake. This is not financial advice, by the way. I'm not a financial advisor. Do not take any of this information as advice, and do your own research, all that stuff. They have on their home page the difference in transactions per second, where Bitcoin has 10 transactions per second, Ethereum does 20 transactions per second, Solana at 10,000, Sai at 20,000 OPS, which is going to stand for orders per second. So Sai talks more in orders per second than transactions per second. I'm not sure exactly why they do that, but one of the main things that they want to do is be the major competitor or the first place to go to for exchanges, for decentralized exchanges. They say there is a gap in decentralized exchanges and that none of the layer one blockchains are really focusing on optimizing that. So that is basically one of Sai's major missions and goals. It says, as a result, we propose Sai, which is a sector-specific L1 blockchain that is specialized for trading and will bridge the performance gap between centralized and decentralized exchanges. At a protocol level, Sai makes use of twin turbo consensus and multiple degrees of parallelization to help reduce latency and improve throughput. That is from the Sai white paper. Is Sai really that much better than these other layer ones to take the market share of decentralized exchanges? Most layer ones have a decentralized exchange. Transaction finality, 380 milliseconds versus transaction finality Solana around 2.5 seconds, Ethereum 6 minutes, Bitcoin 60 minutes. So it takes a long time for transactions to happen on Bitcoin. Front-running prevention. So it says Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana. None of them have front-running prevention, where Sai has front-running prevention. I don't believe that the only proof-of-stake blockchain to have front-running prevention, actually Telos. I've done another video on them. They have front-running prevention. But there's a lot of these blockchains that are kind of saying they're the fastest layer one blockchain. They're the most secure. They're the most scalable. They all kind of say this. So trusted by world-class operators, investors, and institutions, Multicoin Capital, Coinbase, Jump, Delphi Digital, HRT, GSR, Flow Traders, Distributed Global, Yield, Gid, Frax, Layer Zero, Steppen. None of those brands to me are massive except for Coinbase. So let's talk about the Sai ecosystem. That's how many projects are built on the blockchain. They have a little bit of an ecosystem, not huge. I added it all up. It's a little over 100 projects have been built on Sai, which is quite small compared to the other layer ones like Solana and Avalanche and Cardano and especially Ethereum. Those ones are going to be dominating this, so it has a lot of competition. The Sai ecosystem is decent, not great. It says here, apply for the $120 million Sai ecosystem fund. So with something like this, it sounds very exciting, and it can be good to bring in people to the blockchain, bring in developers. However, what happens is when blockchains issue tokens to people who are building on a blockchain, $120 million, eventually those companies need to sell that to turn into dollars or liquidity to fund their projects. So it actually can bring a lot of selling pressure onto the blockchain, onto the token itself. That's just something to keep in mind. So recently, Sai Labs raised $30 million in a Series A, bringing their valuation up to $800 million, which can be a good sign. It shows that there is big money getting behind it. It shows that there are venture capitalists who believe in this project. They're betting on it. However, usually there is a big token allocation that gets moved to these investors, which can make the project more centralized. If you like this content, please smash up that like button, hit the subscribe button, do all that stuff. Leave me a comment. It really helps me out. I like making you guys crypto content, and doesn't cost you anything and helps me out a bunch. So if you go into the Sai app itself, actually they have here their staking bonuses, their estimated APR. That is going to be how much you're yielding basically annually. It's 4.55%. Active validators 39, bonded token ratio is 99.14%. You can look down here at the different validators here, the different APRs, their commissions that they're taking. This this is just pretty classic proof of stake. This is how most of them use. 4.55% is pretty good. It's not great. It's not terrible. It's not too much. If it was like 20% or 30%, I'd be like, be really careful because that inflation is going to be massive. But there is actually something I'm going to go over in the end of this video about the inflation of Psi, and it looks pretty enormous. So I always like to look at the development that's happening on a layer 1 blockchain. This is very important. Let's look at the development here. I'm comparing it to Solana. I think it's just, it's a very hyped layer 1. It has a lot of development happening. It has a lot of projects being built on it. There's a lot of use cases. It's really moved from being kind of a mid-cap alt to kind of the alt below Ethereum, I would say. Kind of the leader in layer 1s besides Ethereum. It seems like Solana is taking that spot right now. And here it shows us the development. This is our last year we have here, and this is over a 7-day period. So it looks here that Solana has about 5 times the development as Psi, but that's actually pretty impressive, actually, how much development is happening on Psi for how low the market cap is, even though their market cap's over $1 billion, and I don't think we're really early at this point. But if you look at our chart here, we are not buying in the bear market. We are not buying in fear. Everything's basically come up quite a bit. We're no longer in bear bottom prices, blood in the streets in the crypto winter, which is where I was doing most of my buying and where I think really crypto investors should be buying. The risk has just gone up immensely on all tokens, even though it is believed that the true bull market has not hit yet. You know, we're not far off the top, which I don't like. I don't like to buy crypto 20% off the top or 30% off the top. I think 70, 80, 90% off the top is where you get those really good buys, and you're just taking on a lot of risk when you're buying close to all-time highs. So if we look at DeFi Llama, Psi is number 78 on the list of total value locked. They have only a little over $8 million that's locked on the chain. That's usually from like lending protocols, things like this. So it's a pretty small amount compared to all the other layer 1s or Ethereum or the big guys. So their market cap is 1.43 billion. They'll have 8 million locked. Pretty small ratio, not a great ratio for TVL for a layer 1 blockchain. So with any blockchain, I want to look at who's behind it. Who are the founders? So I'm going to go over 2 founders of Psi Labs. One's name is Dan Edelbeck. Guessing that's how it's pronounced. He has a really interesting resume, actually. It seems like he's worked in crypto for a bit. He's also the founder of Tokenomics. He's a full-time founder. So he's a full-time founder of 2 crypto projects right now, which I don't know if that's super bullish for me, or if how do you split up your time? Co-founder and CEO of Exidio was another crypto Web3 based project. But what's really interesting about this guy's past is he has done a lot of volunteer work, and he worked for Peace Corps. He worked in Mexico. He was a corporate account manager. As a corporate account manager, I assisted homeless or at-risk individuals in obtaining full-time employment through creating a systemic sales plan for effectively engaging potential employment partners with Carey's unique value proposition. So it seems like this guy spent a lot of his life trying to help people, which is pretty awesome, I think. That's pretty good to see in a space like crypto where there's so many crazy scammers. So here on LinkedIn, we have Jeff F., co-founder of Psi Labs, Forbes 30 under 30. Jeff graduated from University of California, Berkeley. He was a venture investor at Coach Management, and he also worked at Goldman Sachs, probably directly out of college. He probably did some sort of, maybe not internship, but entry-level position at Goldman Sachs. And then he went on to be a founder at Psi Labs. So not a lot of experience. He's a young guy, not a ton of track record. So we don't really know what this person's capable of. No massive red flags I don't see. It seems... So now there's some things about Psi that are worrying me, and there's one major thing, and that's the inflation, but there's one other thing that is kind of bizarre, and that is on their main media webpage that gives like the newsletters and new press about Psi, and their most recent newsletter was from December 19th, 2022. So it's from over a year ago that they published any new news on their website. I did find other new news about them raising funds and doing such and such, but I don't know why they're not up to date on their website when news and when narratives and when the story of a crypto is so important. So the one major red flag for me in Psi is going to be its token allocation and its inflation. If you haven't already seen what is going on with this, I found here a tokenunlocks.app. It shows basically when the tokens are unlocked, how much has already gone through emissions. So total unlock progress, 21% has been unlocked. So 73% has not been unlocked. That means that those tokens are going to be put onto the market as time goes on. So if we look at this graph here, this is from today to 2026. We have quite a bit of emissions, inflation. It looks like it's almost going to be 400%, going from 2 billion tokens up to almost 8 billion tokens. And we have a large amount of private sale investor unlock here. The team, foundation, ecosystem reserves. There's going to be a lot of inflation on this token. There's going to be a lot of sell pressure in the future coming up. It seems like a big unlock. The unlocks start to happen at the end of 2024, September 5th, 2024. It looks like somewhere around there, private sale investors are allowed to start selling, and then it gradually increases and they can sell more and more and more and more. So I think that there is going to be a lot. And also, if we move through this bull market through 2024, 2025-ish, I would say, and then we're getting into most likely the next bear market, plus a lot of selling, I could see the price of this thing coming way down in the next bear market, which almost all the cryptos will.